Alright, what's up everybody? This is Objective 2, the video that's going to help you learn about factoring polynomials. Alright, so a factor is something you've defined in your key terms, but we're going to show you how to factor a trinomial, which is a polynomial with 3 terms, and a polynomial that has a x squared term at the front. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is that when we are factoring a trinomial and there's an x squared term up front, you're going to have 2 parentheses in the factor, alright? And at the front of each parentheses is going to be an x variable. Okay, we'll go over why later on in this video. Alright, but all you need to do to figure out the factors for this trinomial is we are going to use a graphing tool to help us do this, alright, which is Desmos. So we're going to go to Desmos and you're going to enter the trinomial that's given to you, okay? So in Desmos, I already entered x squared subtract 9x subtract 10. And in this Desmos tool, you're going to look for your x-intercepts, which we define as zeros, which is -1, 0, and 10, 0. So these two numbers, the x value of each 0, is what I'm going to use to create my factors in my trinomial. So in my actual factors of parentheses, I'm going to take my first x-intercept, which was -1, and in my parentheses, I'm going to flip the sign. So if it's negative on my graph, it's going to be positive in my parentheses, but what I write is +1. And my other x-intercept was 10. So it's positive on my graph. So in my parentheses, I'm going to flip the sign. It's going to become negative, and I'm going to write subtract 10. Okay? So I can check my answer to make sure these are the factors of my trinomial by multiplying, which you should have learned in the first video. Alright, so I'm going to multiply these just to check my answer. So I distribute my first term x to each term. So x multiplied x is x squared. When we learned this through the box method, but I'm going to do this really quick. X multiplied 10x is actually it's a -10x, so I'm going to get -10x. Then I got to distribute my next term to each term. 1 multiplied x is going to be +1x. And then I multiply 1 to my subtract 10 or -10, which is going to give me a -10. Then what I do is I combine my like terms, which are these 2 x terms in the middle that have the same variable with the same exponent. Alright, and when I combine -10x and +1x, I'm going to get subtract 9x. Okay, then I bring down my other 2 terms that cannot combine with any other terms. So I'm going to have x squared and then a subtract 10. And if I notice, this matches the trinomial I started with. So that is why these 2 parentheses right here are my factors for the trinomial above. Okay, we're going to look at one other example. Alright, so I have a trinomial. It has 3 terms, and the first term is x squared. So I already know automatically my 2 factors are going to be 2 parentheses with x variables at the front. Then I'm going to plug it into Desmos. Okay? Alright, and once I plug it into Desmos, I'm going to get my parabola, and again I'm looking for my zeros or x-intercepts, which are 2, okay, and 4. So then I go back to my factors. They were both a +2 and a +4, so in my factors I'm going to switch the sign. It goes from positive to negative, and the 4 goes from positive to negative, and boom, I have my factors, and you are done. Alright, if you want to check your answer, you can. I'm going to do that really quick. I do x multiplied x is x squared. X multiplied -4 is -4x. -2 multiplied x is -2x. -2 multiplied -4 is going to give me a +8. I combine my 2 like terms right here, which is going to give me -6x. And I bring down all my other terms that have no other like terms. And boom, does this match the trinomial I started with? Sure does. So you know that right here are your factors for the trinomial above.